Hi guys, so I'm back in the series. So today I would like to talk about making actually coding in JavaScript. In the last episode I talked about essentially the JavaScript console, but that wasn't really coding anything. But now we're going to actually program a website that runs off of JavaScript.
It's 17:30.
And so, I would like to start by going into my terminal, cd desktop, and then mkdir js. Again, when I created it on my desktop, it appeared on my desktop. I'm actually going to delete this after this episode, and before I delete that, I'm going to put it somewhere else where you could see the code. That way you won't have to come back to this. So I would also now like to open it in Atom, the entire directory. Even though it contains nothing, I'll open it in my code editor, since I'm actually creating an index file and a JavaScript file. So in here, I'm going to make a new file, .html. Again, this is JavaScript is helping out the HTML. And if you don't know HTML, it's okay. It's good to know HTML. But in a nutshell, I'll tell you the tags. So H2 is second heading. I'm going to say actually button interaction. And what we're doing this entire episode is just creating the site with button interaction. Now I know I have my main JavaScript file there and my index.html file over here, and so you connect that by a script tag with a source, which you'll do at the very end. And now we're going to make a button, and I'm going to give it an ID. And basically we can do JavaScript syntax in HTML, or we can do JavaScript syntax in HTML or JavaScript syntax in JavaScript. I'll show you both. So I'll start with a section. And in fact, I'll cut that and paste that here. I'm going to say P D equals so first I'd like to show you the HTML syntax for this. In JavaScript, it will be much more interesting. We'll create variables and use the document. But in case you want to know HTML, we're using the Onclick. And document dot get and basically get element by ID specifies that we're using an ID, and this is JavaScript all inside of this, and we're going to say don't even need this ID, and dot inner HTML equals and what we're going to say equals you click me. Now again, this is the HTML syntax, but in case you want the JavaScript syntax, that's interesting but complicated at the same time. In section, we're going to say button ID, then we're going to say click, button. And I'm going to say p-id equals a button tag creates a button and a p tag creates a paragraph. And so now we can link it to the JavaScript file. Now this is all of the HTML that we have to do. src, that means source. And I'm going to say main.js. JS is JavaScript file. So yeah, that's all. In here we can write variables. Equals docu dot get element by ID. Get element by ID specifies that you're using an ID which is unique, which is something that's good. So button is the ID, and output we're going to do the same. So those are the first two lines of code, which are just variables. And so now we can also make a string variable. And also, I forgot to explain, document is basically this website. So when you're doing the HTML syntax, you don't even need a document dot. You just have to say get element by ID, because you're in the site. Whereas in main.js, you're not. And get element by ID means you find something according to its ID. And it will work every time with an ID. Even in a program, an HTML site, which has thousands upon thousands of lines. This will always work, even if the HTML file has thousands upon thousands of lines. So now we can do the Onclick event, which will say button.onClick equals function. And actually, in a function, it runs everything inside of it. A function is basically something that you have to do in order for it to run. So you can put code inside of a function, and then you can call a function by its name as many times as you want. But here, we will create a function. And it's important that you do the function on top. The last time I tried this, I did the function below. And the name is click. And so in here, just going to put output dot inner HTML. Again, you can use inner HTML or inner text. Inner HTML, you can actually use words. And this time in HTML you can not only use words, you can use words, but you can also use HTML tags. Equals, and I'm going to say, you clicked me. And the code inside of the function doesn't run right away. It has to be called. So I'll call the function in the Onclick event. And we'll say click. And that's everything. So we'll save both files, and we're back to our command prompt, or command line, because this is Mac. And this will open it in its default app. Interactive site. Look, interactivity. I didn't put anything inside the buttons, but yeah. So that's all for today. Or this episode. Bye.